In this week's weekly video fishing forecast, I'll have the latest reports on the fall opening of blackfish season. The surf action continues to get red hot, and our correspondents check in for around the island, all here at thefisherman.com.
The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners.
This is the tournament season, and this weekend is the Babylon Fall Surf Fishing Classic at Cedar Beach. Registration information for this event is available at the Town of Babylon. Call 631-957-4286. Also this weekend is the rescheduled Bergen Bay Striped Bass and Shark Tournament. The captain's meeting is tomorrow at Bergen Bay Docks in West Babylon. You can call 631-539-4136 for all the details. Then next weekend is the South Shore Fall Fishing Classic. That kicks off on Friday and runs through Sunday. Click on the card in the top right for more info. Remember to check the YouTube description for all the links and an index for the specific reports. Let's check in with News 12 meteorologist Rich Von Ohlen. Rich?
All right, thanks, Matt. Let's check that weekend forecast. Before you do, got a little bit of a fishing report. Yeah, you know, it's a sand shark, huge smooth dogfish. We've been getting a few of these on the bunker schools off the beaches very close to shore, Long Beach, Jones Beach, mixed in a couple of nice bass, but this was a huge one. I thought it was a bass when I was reeling it in. Some of those bigger fish now, bass being trolled deeper, but I just wanted to give you a look at this one. It's wild stuff. Okay, check the weekend forecast. You can always check your favorite apps, websites, favorite tools as we get closer. Water temps, as expected, with some of the cooler weather, have dropped a bit. You got a lot of 60s right now. Wave heights, Saturday looks okay. A lot of mixed reviews here with some of the models here. This has more of a north breeze coming in, so close to shore should be okay. Maybe out east offshore a little bit lumpier. Showing a little more wave action offshore later Sunday afternoon, particularly on the east end of the island. But most of the weekend looks fairly fishable right now. Again, check as we get closer. Looks like Saturday, a little mix here. Some of the models a little bit stronger than 5 to 10 knots, maybe a little bit like 15 to 20, but we'll see how things shake out. Sunday, again, a mix here. It looks like it's more of a westerly breeze, maybe like 10 to 15 up to 20. Again, some of these weekends have been kind of a little weird, touch and go with the weather forecast changing. High tides, North Shore for the early afternoon, South Shore for mid-morning. Temps, cool weekend, 60s here, but not bad for this time of year. Same thing coming up on Sunday. Let's check the Guru quickly, see what we got. There's your Saturday. Again, this particular model, GFS, has the light winds on Saturday, a little gustier on Sunday. So, I mean, overall, though, it's more of a north-northwest. Shouldn't be too bad with the seas there. But as always, just check as we get closer to your favorite sites to see how the forecast may have changed. But overall, weekend looks right now pretty decent. Enjoy, be safe as always. Matt, back to you.
Blackfish opened up on the South Shore, and here's what I heard from around the island. In Montauk, the bite for the beginning of the season was solid according to reports. Nearshore rock piles around the point produced some keepers with limits also. To the northeast, Fisher's Island also produced lots of keeper-sized fish and plenty of shorts. The near inlet reefs on the South Shore gave anglers in that area a shot at some decent fish too. I heard some of the bigger fish were around 7 pounds. On the North Shore, close to shore, is loaded with fish. Almost any rock pile you could find in 12 to 25 feet of water has them. I found some time to get out this weekend, and I had a good limit using jigs and green crabs. From Shinnecock, let's check in with Mike Dean. Mike.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. Fall run is here. Awesome fishing going on. Got my personal best by about 1.5 inches since the one I got last season on a 2-ounce bucktail with a fat cow jig strip, white 5 1/4 skinny tail. Just an awesome fish. I'm still so amped up from catching it. And those big fish, you know, up to 30 pounds have been getting caught in the inlets and on the open beach. First light, last light at night. Should start to see also just, you know, randomly during the day. So really put your time in there. It's definitely worth it. Not sure how long these bigger fish will stick around. There's usually bigger fish that'll move through. The season definitely isn't over, but when we start to see that predominant, you know, part of the herd, that's those 26-inch to just about slot-sized fish, it tends to be a little bit tougher to get these big ones. So while you may not catch a ton of fish, if you do get into one, it's probably going to be a good one. For those of you that might be a little bit new to the surf casting off the beach and the open beach, there definitely is a difference of where you fish. If you can find anywhere that the water looks a little bit different, it tends to be where some bait can be corralled. Obviously, look for birds. There have been some blitzes within casting distance, although have seen more of that action way out of casting distance. And a lot of the boat guys have been able to snag bunker, get them on a circle hook, throwing either big swim shads, also throwing big pencil poppers and bottle poppers rather. Right around those pods have been rewarded. There's been some big fish around 40 pounders or so. Buddy of mine got into those. Blackfish season started. It's off to a good start. Nothing huge that I've heard of yet, but a couple of nice keepers that made it home and made a nice meal. If you look back in our YouTube channel, Matt Broderick has a video of how to target blackfish from shore, basically on the jetties. Really a fun fish, a frustrating one, but kind of makes the chase all that much more fun. Tuna bite seems to have slowed down. Was supposed to go later last week. That didn't happen when we heard the reports that the draggers are kind of like moved much south of Quambra. But there have been some catches. If you are going out, bring a lot of peanut bunker, a lot of butterfish, and look for those draggers, and you should get into something there. Albies, even though they've kind of gotten much better out of Montauk, hasn't really developed in Shinnecock. Still some small pods cruising on the surface. No really sustained feedings by any big pods. I was fishing the backside of Moriches late last week. Did see a few pods go through. Didn't have time to get the epoxy jig on before they were gone. Did get a couple of nice bass though at the same time on the spook. So was happy with that. So let us know how you do. Any questions, reach out on social media, the comments below. Get out there, put your time in. You're going to get rewarded. Okay? Talk to you next week. Back to you, Matt.
The surf continued to stay hot this week. Starting in the east, Montauk had a pick of schoolies and slot-sized bass on both sides of the point. The North Fork beaches all had shots at albies over the weekend, falling for resin jigs and epoxy jigs. Some bass blitzes were also reported in the same areas. Going west, the Rocky Point stretch had a few bass and blues during the low light periods. Over in Northport, I heard a similar situation, but there were weak fish mixed in too. Leonardo Hahn had some big blues at Eaton's Neck, which is not too far from Northport. On the south shore, the large area between Shinnecock and Robert Moses have been getting excellent reports with slot-sized fish and some true beasts into the upper 40-pound range. The fish have been falling for most swing plugs, but a few to try are SP minnows, mag darters, super strikes, and Joe Bag swarters. I did get an additional report that Jack and his wife Garcia and friend Greg had a 49-inch bass in Moriches that was caught and released. And for you West End folks, some good bites of weakfish have continued in the back bays, with Albie also being caught at Breezy Point Jetty. Hopefully the downside of this moon produces similar results. With our fly-in freshwater report, we have Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Matt. Well, here I am on another one of my adventures. I'm out at Montauk. I'm camping. I'm by myself. My wife had to work, but she did plan my menu, packed the food, bought the food, so I could say she's been on my trip. But anyway, as far as it goes, 3 days of wind. It was brutal. Very tough for the fly rod, but I did get out with my two-handed spey, and I did catch a bass. A little sea bass, about that big. Other than that, it's good to get out, but it's not a great fishing weekend. As far as the other reports I have, well, I ran a shop trip with about 15 people. We all went to the Robert Moses area and fished for weakfish. We actually fished for anything that we could catch, but we actually caught weakfish. Quite a few of them, and shad, a lot of shad. Now the thing is, it was very weedy when we got there, but as soon as the tide started slacking off, the weed stopped, fishing picked up. As soon as the tide started moving again, we came back. It was tough fishing. We decided to call it night. But it was a great time. As far as Saturday goes, the DEC, Heidi and her crew, were running a fall fishing festival over at Hempstead St. Lake Park. They Connecticut stocked the pond. A lot of trout, rainbows, mostly rainbows, some brooks. and it was just a beautiful, beautiful day. People got out there who never get out to fish, found the joys of catching fish. Supplied, the worms were supplied, the bait was supplied, the rods were supplied, all by the DEC. They do these festivals. It was a great time. I had a great time. We're helping people, showing people what fly fishing is all about. Now, as far as the rest of the island, Long Island fly rodders had their fishing day at Shinnecock. I understand there were a lot of fish, a little picky, but a lot of people found success. And they had a good time. At least you're out of the wind. And you're in there on the river. But as far as the sod banks, loaded bass again, the back bays. So I'm going to be fishing off my boat soon. Just plugging the back bays, looking for bass. As far as the guides go, all of them are reporting when they can get out, and that's when they can get out, right? They're finding albies, they're finding bass, and there are a few blues. It hasn't been a bad year yet. Maybe it's going to happen. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But hey, look, get out soon because Old Man Winter is coming. Until next week, tight lines, everybody.
From the Fire Island area in Great South Bay, let's check in with Captain Al Lorenzetti.
Hey Matt, Captain Al Lorenzetti here, Fire Island Report. Striped bass fishing is on, and it's getting better every day. I'm catching fish inside, primarily using spot for bait, and some fish on plugs as well. Black fishing is pretty good around the bridges, on a small structure, reefs and rock jetties and stuff. So, and there's still, believe it or not, there's still a few weak fish around. I was striped bassing last week and caught a couple of weak fish as a bycatch. So there's quite a bit of activity. I heard a good bunch of big fish, big striped bass are coming down the beach from Mauritius towards us. So I think it's going to be a good couple of weeks coming up here, and right through November we should be catching striped bass and having a great time. So that's it for this week, Matt. Talk to you next week.
Now let's get an update on the Dreamboat contest with Tim C. Smith.
With about a month to go in the Dreamboat contest, things are heating up. Joseph Yem is back on top after weighing in the 7.3-pound blackfish. Henry Piacentino moved up to third place because Andreas Brundler's 4.9-pound sea bass was just a little heavier than Michael Briggs' catch. Other notable weigh-ins this week was Kenneth Mike's 11-pound sideways blackfish, Kevin Roth's 9.48-pound tog, and Mike Meinhofer's 5-pound sea bass. What species will make the difference? We will find out soon. The Dreamboat Fishing Challenge is the Fisherman subscriber-only multi-species fishing competition with a chance to win a new Steiger Craft center console powered by Yamaha, along with many other great prizes. Subscribe now to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the action.
From Northport, we have Mark McGowan from Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle.
It's the full moon in October. Oh! You got to hit these blackfish because there's some absolutely dynamic sized fish getting caught. The scales have been tipped over the personal best by our very own offshore Harry, over 12 pounds. You know, unbelievable. We've seen fish 9 pounds. We've seen double digits come in. A lot of fish getting released. There's such a great bite going on right now. You can mix it up between like Connecticut out on 11B. There was a hot red bite going on out on the reef by Smithtown. The sea bass have been like really either like beautiful size on some of these uncharted wrecks or little spots of rocks away from the other folks. And other than that, if you're in like some of these other more popular, it seems like we're getting a lot of smaller sea bass. But I'll tell you, man, some chunky porgies in the mix. The false albacore here, they're on and off. Prep for those. Make sure you got really ultra light fluorocarbon. Already have your setup ready to go with your favorite jig on or your popper or whatever it is if you're a fly guy, because they're going to make a show and you have to be prepared. You almost have to drop what you're doing and hit them, and then they'll show up on and off. They do their thing, you know. So stick to your guns, keep your eyes out. There's nothing better than a great pair of sunglasses. I use Coasters all the time. This is that time of the year you really want to have a great pair of glasses because it's a lot of sight fishing. Look for those rips. We've got bluefish, we've got fantastic striped bass, got jumbos, the smaller fish in the mix, but they're out there in the rips. This full moon, it's on the South Shore, it's on the North Shore. Get out there, enjoy it with a friend, create memories, practice your safety, really keep your eye peeled for those wind because it has been howling, seriously. And at times you got to watch out for that wind. And then there's a break, you hit it, the fish are hungry, they're chewing. Get out there. If your boat's too small, get on one of the for-hire boats. You've got plenty out there that are doing a great job supporting the fishing community. Get on there, kick in your money, tip those mates, and have a great time. And until next week, I bid you peace and tight lines.
Dave Anderson of the New England Fisherman has an update on the Coastal Kayak Clash. Dave.
This week in the Coastal Kayak Clash, as hard as the competition tried to change the score, a few fish shuffled around, but the scores stayed the same. We had a 25.5-inch weakfish from Rashawn Williams, we had a 26.75-inch albie from Bob Stuber, and a 21.5-inch tog from Bob Wagner. But again, the leaderboard remained unchanged. There still hasn't been a single entry for Fish of the Month in October, and that's bluefish. If you're in the clash, enter literally any bluefish, and you might have $100 to yakatak.com coming your way. Good luck.
Captain Mike Sentry has the latest from Staten Island.
Thanks, Tim and Matt. Hope all is well. Well, guys, Mike here for Anglers of Legend Sportfish. My report for this week is going to be a good one. The Raritan Bay on both sides of Staten Island and New Jersey, pretty much on fire. You cannot miss a bass there. There are so many bass. The bay is loaded with bunker, and the bass are definitely congregating there. They ain't leaving. Unlike last year, the bass were outside of Sandy Hook, and the bay was pretty much dead with stripers. So this year's definitely unique. So definitely take advantage of it. Guys are using the Ben Parkinson spoons, jigging spoons. They're trolling them with the Mojos. White's producing a lot. Green's producing. What else? Life Bunker is definitely catching some nice bass, but not as often. It's not producing as much as, let's say, the Mojos. Top water, when the conditions are right. For example, today and yesterday was pretty flat out there. According to what it was Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday with heavy wind gusts. So pretty much you could throw a bare hook out there, probably hook a striper. So with that said, guys, get out there, make the reports happen. This ain't gonna last. Stripers gonna be here for another maybe couple of weeks, and that's it. Mid-November, they're gone. So close out the year in good fashion, and have fun, guys. Back to you, Matt.
Remember to like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, to be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the Dreamboat Contest and Coastal Kayak Clash. Check out this video's description on YouTube for all the related links and index for specific reports. Please support our correspondence by visiting the websites and social media pages. See you right here next week at thefisherman.com.
Steigercraft boats, built by people who fish our waters. Serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you.